Hey, good evening, everybody. You know what time of day it is. It's 7:15 on Wednesday night. It's me, Lynn Rene MacDonald, for our live talk forum here in Virginia Beach, live in our studio space at the Copper Dragon and the Institute for Christ Consciousness. And we are here for our 7:15 live talk forum. People will be coming on in a few minutes. We have our studio audience. As you know, this is a show that's on donation, so if you can donate, do in however way you do donate, right? Whether it's financially, we've gone through this all the time. You know how the show rolls. If you can help us out, you do by sharing what we do, by sharing energetically, whether it's financially or however you guys feel called to share. Okay. And also, to donate your time, share about, what we do all around. Okay. So, and that helps us get out to the people, help change the world from love. This is a show that talks and speaks with higher knowing of love. It does a psychic question and answer, right? Psychic Q&A, as you all know. We have Sophia in our live talk audience. I have my awesome people, Rachel and Jennifer, here tonight. I see you guys all coming on. Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming. So tonight is Wednesday. We're doing another special segment. Each week, I feel like we're going to be doing special segments along with our usual talking about things that are going on in the world, as well as any questions that you guys have in your lives to help you have the best solutions from love, universe, God, whatever you call it, from love. But knowing that it is love that we work with as the energy, higher knowing, that's what we do. You guys all know what we do. You've been on the show. We've been running for a while with it. And here we are tonight. And I'm so excited, as always. I love what we do. Okay. So here in the show, as you know, you get the tools for the new world. And we're going to have a great time. We have questions from last week. What did we have last week? What was the topic last week? It was elements of, I think it was darkness or beyond supernatural, the things that nobody wants to talk about or doesn't believe in or sort of believes in, everything from ghosts to anything paranormal. So last week's show, we kind of focused on that with a live question and answer for that. This week's show, we're going to talk about your questions left over from last week, as well as your everyday questions. And then we're going to have a segment tonight, which is going to rock your socks off, because we all think in a certain way when it comes to love and Valentine's Day. We all think that Valentine's Day is all about love in the way of boyfriend and girlfriend, marriage, family, happiness, when love is everything and all it is. So this show tonight is going to bring you, with the theme of Valentine's Day behind it, since yesterday was Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I see y'all coming on here, so thanks for coming. Thank you guys for supporting us in every way that you do. And so this show is going to have a bigger focus as a segment in it tonight in our question and answer, our psychic question and answer. As you know, we talk to universe, talk to God, talk to love, right? And this is how we do it. So we get the answers from love in the purest form. So this said, if you've seen all the other shows, you know. And Valentine's Day, everyone thinks of love, like we said. So tonight we're going to do a past life segment that's really going to rock your socks off in terms of what you think is love and the things that come in as love and how different love is, and wrapping our head around it and not thinking of it in the traditional way most people think of love in the earth world. Like, I'm in love and I give roses and we have candy and we go out to dinner and it's Valentine's Day. And the theme is torrid love affairs. This ought to be a blast. We did a theme like this last week in our traditional classes that are more private, aren't on the air as this is. So anybody who is daring enough to come will pull out one of your past lives in our segment. This will be great and fantastic for you in terms of your best understanding of your soul, past lifetimes. Again, whatever it is that you believe, right? This is going to help give you the God's honest truth about you and what's going on with you, and release all the energies that are unhealthy in reference to this energy from past lives. So this isn't just about learning about past lives. This is about being able to release this energy that holds us back in our everyday life today and everything that we are, because we have these things that are crazy, these beliefs that are crazy. And to give you an idea, or these energies that run in us, whether we're consciously aware of them or not, our subconscious soul runs the show, and it is genius and is high-end connected to God or love or universe, and it knows exactly what it's doing all the time. And this is every single one of us, as we are all part of that same love energy that is all that is love, that is God, right? Okay. This said, I'm going to give you a little idea of how it's going to go down, most likely. Now, some stuff will be traditional in our segment. Some, meaning that'll be about love affairs that were kind of like, the traditional ones that didn't work out and lost loves and can't letting go of love. And then there's going to be ones that are going to be crazy. Like last week in our class, to give you a quick idea of what I'm talking about, we had a young lady who was in there, and she's like, oh, tell me about my past torrid love life and things like that. And she's like, I want to know, which one it was, right? Which one's the latest? And so we tap in, we ask God, we ask universe, we ask love. And with that, what comes in is that she was a Viking. She lived on a ship for a really long time. Vikings were on ships, as you all know. And the ship was infested with rats. So what happens is she falls in love with the rats, and she has this amazing relationship. And that's not something anybody would ever think of when you think of torrid love affairs, right? Well, as you know, you kind of could get nuts when you're a Viking on a ship in past lifetimes where, what are the epidemics, scurvy and rickets, and where you don't have food and you're on a ship and it's a bit crazy and you're out there for a really long time. People kind of lose their minds. So these energies, being in love with rats, taking care of the rats, kind of losing your sanity. These are all energies that this young lady carried in with her, and she's expecting to hear about a love affair. And this is what came in, because this is all about a love affair, sure, but it's not in the way that you think. It's a crazy love affair that she had with these little creatures. And what's so funny is she's like, oh, I knew this. And she had all these connections in Earth world that come in where she's able to connect to this lifetime and connect to the rats. Incredible stuff. And she's like, I knew this. Because really, ultimately, we all know and hear what's really going on with us. And sometimes all we need is the connection in the words. And this is, again, why we do this. It's about healing. It's about understanding ourselves. It's about getting to that energy to change ourselves, understand ourselves, and live our greatest lives. Because once we set ourselves free from these unhealthy energies from these lifetimes, right? Then, and it doesn't mean that everything is bad about her loving rats and loving animals, right? I mean, that can come in as a loving animal thing. But on the other side of that coin, that can be pretty freaky and toxic, So this said, we did a lot of healing work in that, just releasing the stuff. That's all you got to do is tap into it, ask love to be free of it, and you take it from there. So we will be doing some of this tonight, but I wanted to give you this different perspective because everybody thinks, oh, she's going to tell me about a torrid love affair where I was a princess and he was a king. I'm like, yeah. No. So before you guys open your mouths and start talking to me about what you want to ask about, get ready, okay? Because I'm going to ask the universe for the best God's honest truth and the best lifetimes for you to heal in torrid love affairs in honor of Valentine's Day, the holiday of love. But this is all about self-love as well as your love life out here. Because if you're in love with rats, and this is what you love, every man that you attract or every partner that you attract, guess what? They're going to be in some way, shape, or form a rat. Crazy shit, right? You wouldn't have thought about that. But this really helps these people, helps all of us in this lifetime here. Why? Because we can free ourselves from this energy that brings in the most unhealthiest partners for us. Do you see? So we don't want that here in us, So that said, I want to share that with you so you guys can think wisely, ask wisely. And remember, you never know what's going to come from universe for your best guidance, wisdom, healing, and always, because we all want to have the healthiest love relationships. And we don't understand, right? Why we can't have them. Like my ex, he's on his 6th marriage. One of my exes, how many marriages is enough before you're going to realize that there's something going on in here? Like, for example, this rat past lifetimes, right? This one young lady had, right? That's why she attracts all those toxic partners. Right? Crazy as it sounds, that's a big part of it, right? So same thing with my ex, six wives. How many wives is enough? And what he says to me is, I'm never going to be with another girl from New Jersey. I'm like, good luck with that. Because it ain't a New Jersey thing. It's a soul thing. And it isn't a me thing. It's a you thing, right? In other words, it's a him thing until he changes him. Just like it's a me thing. Until I change me, I can't change this. out here, and I pull in all these partners, let's say, are rats. So this is going to help free you guys, all you people who can't have the best partner, don't get along with your partner, have constant challenges in your relationships when it comes to love in all ways, because this is how this energy comes out. It's ass kicking. All right. All right. So this said, I got my juice tonight, and when I say juice, for those of you wondering what I'm drinking like a vitamin liquid mixture to help me with my best health, right? A lot of times the best ways that things get assimilated into our bodies is through liquid and through subcutaneous, in other words, comes through your skin. So neat stuff, right? It can come through your skin as well for medicines. But that said, that's what I'm drinking. So none of you guys be thinking I'm drinking some funky shit. Okay. So tonight I see a lot of you guys are really coming on here. So thanks for coming. And I'm super grateful for you. And I'm super grateful and thankful for everybody who donates. We're going to have a great time tonight. We're going to start with saying hi to everybody, I feel like. And then we'll probably go into last week's questions that we didn't finish off from the supernatural segments. And then we're going to go into the Valentine stuff. All right. So get your questions ready, guys. You got a few minutes there to get stuff together, what you want to ask for and ask about. But remember, my job is to teach and speak and do the God's honest truth. And a lot of times people want to hear foo-foo BS, and I'm not about foo-foo BS. I'm about helping people, teaching them the truth, and getting them to those places where they need to go in their soul and in their heart to heal them and live their greatest lives. That's what we do from love, right? We don't tell you things that aren't the God's honest truth that you want to hear. So when you go and you ask, be aware of that, because you never know what's going to come out. But universe love speaks through me to you guys, right? To give it out in the best way, the information from love. And this is what we do, and if we didn't have a handle on it, we wouldn't be doing this, right? Because people will be throwing eggs at the fucking camera. Excuse my French. Right? Okay. So that said, Rachel, who's here tonight?
We have Steve and Andrea and Sarah Andrews, Nikki Opera and Nicholas, Teresa Courtney Lloyd.
Fantastic. Thanks,
Sarah
guys.
Sutra.
All right. A lot of my regulars. Hey, guys, thanks for coming. Thanks so much for coming.
And Kathy Warmack, too.
Oh, Kathy Warmack. Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming. Tonight in our studio audience, it's kind of quiet tonight for a Wednesday. We have Sophia MacDonald, but it's kind of nicer outside, you know. I think it's like 65 here. I like it a little more chill. Like chilly, but so we have Sophia out here, and then we have Jennifer and Ray and me, and we're going to start our segment. So thank you again all for coming. Jennifer, do we have any questions from last week? Do you have the questions or just Ray tonight?
We both have them.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, Andrew Karate just got on, so I'll start with him.
Hey, Andrew. Hey, thanks for coming.
He says, I feel kind of strange because I'm letting go of dark and fake people in my life. Mm-hmm. Is it normal to feel bad, even though in the long run I will benefit from getting rid of this darkness?
Okay, Andrew Karate is saying that he is letting go of people in his life that aren't healthy for him, basically, right? And this is the normal path as you go down this path. Anybody who is no longer healthy for you, and that's all throughout our lives, you'll notice that people will drop off in our realities. They drop off, they're toxic, or we just move away from them. Sometimes we say things, sometimes we have arguments, sometimes we just don't get along. Sometimes we just move away from them, right? So that's the natural progression of our lives. Just like they say, people and things come in seasons, and our seasons are all part of our learning and our growth throughout our lives as we grow and change as human beings as well as souls. Okay, so Andrew, when you say, is this normal? This is absolutely normal, whether you realize it consciously or not. It tends to have influxes depending on as you level up with universe, spirit, God, or love, angels, whatever you want to call it, on your journey, as your vibration raises to a higher being of love, a higher understanding of love, you will then release the people who no longer serve you. And that's totally, totally normal. This happens for all of us. The reason why you kind of feel bad about it is that's all part of grieving, right? Being upset, not being upset about losing the friendship. And this is all normal. We grieve for other people. We grieve for our loss of these people. We grieve for our pets. We grieve for a multitude of different reasons and things that when we lose something in our life. I mean, believe it or not, like sometimes people will sell cars or lose money. And what do? They kind of grieve about it because they have attachments to it, or excuse me, they love these things in some way, shape, or form, and it's hard to let go and release the things that we love. So this is all part of the process. When we release people and we move away from people and we miss people, we're grieving for ourselves. We're grieving for a multitude of different reasons, and this is all normal. It's normal human behavior. It's when you hold on for too long, right? Then the best astrology sign to tell you holding on too long is Cancer. Cancer holds on to those past lives and that stuff for lifetimes. Cancer is living in the past. God, let these people go. These energies go. They no longer serve you. It's not the end of the world, and it's not the end of everything. Give yourself time to grieve in the healthiest, best way, and in time, this too shall pass. But you don't want to get caught up in years missing these people, being sad about this, hurting so much over and over, as we see with a lot of people where you have toxic grief, right? Toxic grief, we talk about this on and off throughout our series we have in the past whenever it comes up, where people hold on. And it's very hard, when they've been with a partner for like 50 years and then they have to let go of their partner, right? When their partner crosses over, they've been a partner for 50 some years. So it's really, really hard to let go of them. So they feel lost. They don't even know who they are because they make their partner their lives. So these are all a whole bunch of different energies that are related to all of this, Andrew, and everybody here, so that you all can understand, how this stuff works. So it is normal, Andrew, to grieve, but you also want to balance that out and put basically a form of a limit on that grieving so that you don't grieve for too long where it becomes unhealthy for you. But you'll know when that is. Sometimes your friends will say, hey, don't you think it's time to let go of this? Or I find you thinking about this all the time. Or if you find yourself thinking about things all the time that you can't move on in your life, then you have to say, okay, I need some help here, universe, love, God, right? I need some help to release all this stuff. Do you see? So this said, this is really what's going on with you. Okay? All right. So that said, who's next?
We have Nikki Oper.
Okay.
It's a kind of a long dream that she has written out, and it's about sleep paralysis.
Okay.
She said she used to have falling dreams all the time, but was always told that if you hit the ground when you fall in a dream that you're going to die. She said that she hit the ground many times in dreams, and she would wake up with sleep paralysis. And then while she was pregnant, she had a dream she was lying in her bed watching her coworker play video games. A shadow came into her room and pushed down on her chest, and she tried to call out for help, and then she woke up with sleep paralysis. She had a fear that if the shadow didn't hold her down, she would have rolled out of her bed and onto the floor. She's wondering if there's a propensity for her to die while falling in a dream, and why was her shadow in her room holding her down?
Okay, what this basically comes down to, Nikki, is we talked a little bit about this in sleep paralysis. Again, this is supernatural segment where we talk about crazy things like supernatural stuff like, sleep paralysis, seeing figures and feeling like they're holding you down. What really comes in with all of this, Nikki, is a massive amounts of fear. Okay. With sleep paralysis, you're going to find that there is massive amounts of fear going on in the people. If you become consciously aware that you can clear this fear that you have, change this fear in you. Thanks, love, for freeing me from this. Thanks, love, for changing this. Thanks, love, for giving me the best way to be in place of this. Then you change all of this and you have the power, not the paralysis. I've had a lot of people come to me, who have for years who have had issues and they go on medicines and they can't sleep at night and all this stuff. But really, once you realize that you have all the power, a lot of times you can also ask universe to become more cognizant, just like lucid dreaming, where you're aware of what is going on, where you're aware of what is going on inside of you, and so that you are cognizant and you can make these choices for yourself instead of being paralyzed by fear. This is what I'm feeling like is coming in for you, all right, Nikki, as to what is happening. And more often than not, 93 to 97% of the time, it is based in fear. There are, of course, incidences where it's a little bit different. There's other things tied up in it, but there's two things that create in the world, and it's love and fear. And then there's all these different phenomenons that are created through all of this energy and all of the energy of universal law or love, both in earth world and metaphysical, all that is God or love or universe. Okay. So there's lots of different ways things can manifest and do manifest. So what I'm picking up on is in this dream, these fears thing. I had heard that too, that when you come in or when you have dreams like this, what happens is you tend to, there's like a chronic belief, that you're going to die when you hit the ground, and a lot of times you will wake up before you hit the ground. A lot of times, if you're absolutely deathly fearing something, you can have a heart attack, right? In your sleep kind of thing. And before you hit the ground or as you hit the ground. Okay. So there's many things that can happen in this dream and in these dreams for people and for you. Okay. So the truth is you don't necessarily have to die when that happens. Dreams, everything that is God and universe morphs in multiple different ways. Now it can happen that you die in your sleep, but nobody out here is really going to know about it because you're not able to tell them, right? So as crazy as it is, once you fall asleep and you let's say pass away in your sleep, right? You may be having one of those dreams and that can definitely happen. However, all right, there's a lot more going on here and it's really about the fear. So all of these fears are what are really manifesting in your reality when you sleep, when you wake up and you can't move. Right? That incredible fear. Am I alive? Am I dead? Fear makes us immobile, right? Sleep paralysis. It makes us not be able to move, not be able to talk, not be able to speak our truth, not be able to help ourselves, not be able to help others. It is fear. Just like when you see all these people standing around a fire outside in Earth World, right? The house is burning down and this woman comes screaming out and she's like, my child's in there. And everybody's like, oh, because they're terrified. They're not going in there because they're afraid. But it renders them immobile to help this person. It is the guy or the person who is somehow able to be not afraid that can go in the house and help them, i.e., let's say firemen, people who are trained for that in Earthworld on the traditional level of how these things work in Earthworld. But there's exceptions to everyone and everything. And all that is, I'm not saying that these people should go out into the fire and save somebody. I'm using this as an example so that everybody can understand here in Earthworld and in all that is metaphysical that these things happen. We render ourselves unable to function, unable to take care of things. What happens is a lot of times when we are in scary situations, what do people do? And what do animals do? They run. They run from it. They can't stand up for themselves. They can't do what it takes in many ways. They have to run, or running is the best option. Okay. So this is what's happening in your dream. You are becoming immobile or paralyzed by your own fears, the fear of the belief that that's what's going to happen. And again, God, universe, love is infinite, and it is able to tell us. It is able to not tell us, but to tell us anything and everything, but to do anything. It creates anything, and that's the amazing magic of all that is love. Okay, it can do anything. So things morph as a general rule in Earth World, in any dimension, and in all that is God. There's a general 73 to 78% of this is how it works. But in between that to the 100%, there is all these other things and ways things that can go down. Things can be intertwined. Things can be multidimensional. They always have complexities within that. All right. So it's about understanding and knowing universal law, or the law of love energy, or the law of God in Earth World, right? You drop something and you know that law of universe is one of them is it falls to the ground. Gravity, right? So these are all those things that I'm talking about, excuse me, that are the rules here in Earth World, or the way things work with love in Saturn. Again, astrology, Saturn's Earth World. It is the governor. It is the structure. It is the universal law of Earth World is Saturn. How things work in Earth World, Saturn. Okay. And much more is Saturn as well. But the universal law of Earth World, as we said many times before, is Saturn. So all of this said, this is about our fears. So this is about being afraid that if I do go to sleep, I heard this so many times and I don't really know. So meaning I don't really know what's going to happen. So I'm afraid. And then I go to sleep and then I wake up and I become paralyzed because I have this dream that I'm falling or that I'm going to die, or just before I hit the pavement, I wake up and then I can't move, right? right? So this is about paralyzing fear. Now, this is one way that it manifests in sleep paralysis. This is not the only way, okay? There are multiple ways through fear that this stuff can happen, and it's infinite and it's unique to all that is God and the individual as well. So this is what's happening, Nikki. When you say the energy that's pressing on you, can you repeat that, Rachel, the last segment that she said, so I have a clear understanding of what exactly she's saying happened? So I'm going to make sure.
It was a dream she had while she was pregnant, and a shadow came into her room and started pressing on her chest, and she couldn't move, and she tried crying out for help, and then she woke up with sleep paralysis. And then she had a fear that if the shadow wasn't holding her down, she would have rolled out of her bed and onto the floor. And she was wondering why the shadow was holding her down, what was going on.
So is this in the same segments of having sleep paralysis?
Yes.
Yeah, see, now this part is more involved than just talking about sleep paralysis. This is about multitude of other fears, right? When you say, and this brings us back to whenever this time happened, which is quite a few years ago when you had your daughter. I'm feeling like this was when that was. If it's not, let me know. And this is about 10 years ago. So the issue then comes in, how many months pregnant were you? Were you having any issues coming in medically? All right, what was going on in your world and in your life? Because all of those things, this is why I ask people all the questions that I do. What was happening over here? What was happening over here? What was happening with this? What's going on here? Because they lead us to the God's honest truth of the answers in complex situations like this, all right? So this is why I'm asking those things. So Nikki, if you could let Rachel know, and we'll come back to your question and we will definitely answer it, but I want to get more of these answers because it's all based in fears. There's no question in my mind, but there's other things going on within like you that are other fears that are playing a role in here with the paralysis and feeling something is weighing heavy on your heart. And what comes in is not unlike Jennifer, my sister Jennifer. You know, when are you okay if I use your example to speak freely?
Yeah.
Tonight? Okay. Yeah. My sister Jennifer, God bless her, has lost a child. And before, when all this happened, after all this we've gone through and went through, we realized that afterwards, her fears of everything that happened created this to happen. So this is what's coming in and why I'm sharing this with you, because this is coming in for you. Were there fears on you that weighed heavy on your heart that stop you from being able to move, that make you be afraid that you're going to lose the baby and you can't move, and then you freak out, and then it triggers the sleep paralysis stuff in you, because this is what I feel like is going on. These incredible fears, the things that weigh heavy on our hearts. And I feel like there were other factors too that connect into this that had happened in your reality. What happened through the day, through the week, you know, that come in with this. But as a major understanding of this in its biggest chunk here, that's what's coming in. These fears in reference to you losing the baby, being worried, being afraid. How am I going to do this? How am I going to be a mother? Heavy fears that weigh heavy on your heart, right? And then it triggers the sleep paralysis through these fears, okay? Or losing the baby, all right? And so you have multiple fears activated in you, which then cause you to have this whole thing go down. All right. All right. So if there's more to this, please let me know with the questions that I answered, because I feel like there is more pieces that I can share with everybody, but I would like those questions answered to do so. Okay.
She did just add in that she was 7 to 8 months pregnant at the time when she had the dream. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, when you say 7 to 8 months pregnant, okay, so you're getting towards the end. The number 7 is about light worker, okay? It's about light. It's about the light. It's about number 7, the house of Libra, and relationships, balancing this energy. How are you going to balance being a mom? When anybody who is a first-time mom, it gets, at some point, I'm sure, everybody goes through some form of consciousness, energy, fears about being a mom. A mom is a big deal, and you don't realize it till you actually birth or have a child, and the responsibility is huge, and your whole life changes in an instant.
in an instant. It's like all of a sudden that kid is there. And so before that, though, when we're all pregnant, we think, oh my God, I've never done this before. It's like my father said to me, you know what I'm going to say? He said, Jesus Christ, Lynn, he said, you would think that you were the only woman on the planet to be pregnant, right? You know, when he heard about me complain about this or that, or my fears of this, you know, but so we all kind of go through this kind of stuff. Am I going to be good enough? Am I going to be able to do it? And wow, I'm responsible for a new life. So all of this stuff would weigh heavy on your heart. And I feel heavy enough because you are definitely metaphysical. I feel this is, what do you call it? They would call it like a hypochondria in Earthworld, but that's really not what it is. It is in the design of higher end souls of love energy in terms of, when I say hypochondria, there's a word for it, psychosomatic. Okay. A lot of times you'll have Saturn in the 6th house, and you'll have other or other placements in your astrology that you literally create this through the fears, your sickness then, just not unlike this physical body stuff that I have going on in me, right? It's the metaphysical turning physical. All right. So, and a lot of doctors will be like, oh, you're fine. You know, you have no problems, but it's your fears weighing heavy on your heart. So that's Libra in terms of relationships, a new relationship, a new mom, a new life. So this is about how am I going to balance? Libra is about balance. And also, interesting enough, Libra is also, or Venus Libra is the energy that, comes in, as well as Taurus, that comes in and is a huge chunk of the deciding factor in the energy of new babies, whether they stay or go when they come in. You can look at a child's astrology chart and you can read their Venus energy, and Venus is the energy that is the number one master energy for adaptability in the zodiac. If your child, right, if you come in and your child doesn't have powerful, let's say, Libra placements or Venus placements, there's a great propensity there, all right, for your child to cross over if they're having issues, because it's all about balance. Can your child balance these things in their energy to stay here? So interesting stuff. You know, your fears are playing a role here, and then all this metaphysical stuff, and it's all in the astrology, which is fascinating, right? This is why I love to see people's charts and know their birthdays, because infinite information comes in through all that is God, through words and through the formula of astrology to help people, to assist me to understand, right? I remember pulling up different placements in different people's lives and reading massive amounts of books and guided by higher knowing, guided by love to understand these things. And this is one of the fascinating things that I discovered in my journey. And it's incredible stuff. Incredible God, incredible astrology. So an incredible law of all that is of love. All right. And this said, Nikki, let me just see here. Your fears are really is what's behind this. And number 8, right? You said 7, 8 months pregnant. 8, number 8 is the number of Scorpio, the God's honest truth, transformation. Am I going to be able to do this? And transformation, you're having a baby. Your body is never going to be the same again. It doesn't mean that it's bad. People go, oh, you had a baby. You're just not going to be that skinny and all this other garbage in Earthworld. Throw that in the trash, because clear that out of us, God, because that's not the truth. The truth is you're going to change, and you're going to change profoundly. You're going to change. You're going to become a mother. It's a different energy. But your body is also going to change. It does not have to be bad. It does not have to be toxic. People think you're ruined sometimes. I mean, these are all the garbage that Earthworld carries in a toxic space of being pregnant. But these are all the fears we carry around. What if I'm not pretty? What if I'm not lean enough? What if I'm not skinny enough? What if I'm ugly? What if I become fat? What if I, oh my God, all our fears, all this toxic, unwell stuff, right, that we have in us plays heavy in our hearts, because when you're pregnant, right, you are creative energy. You're creating in Earthworld a human being. So you're not just living the emotions for you. You're living the emotions of your baby. You're living emotionally, okay? Everybody who knows and has been pregnant knows, like, it's an emotional roller coaster. Some souls have different gifts and do better with it than others. So all of this is all part of that. So the number 8 is about transformation. So this is about fears of your transforming, your transformation, and what's going to happen in my life, what's going to happen with me being a mom, what's going to happen with my kid. I'm afraid. I'm afraid. And every human being out there is afraid of something at some time, and whatever it is. And we've all been in fear spaces. And this is all part of the energy through love that we eradicate. And like the very reason we do this show. So we're not afraid anymore. We can always call on love. And we release all of those fears and we create our greatest life, right? Okay, so I think that covers everything here, does it?
Yes.
And if not,
hit all the fears she was feeling at the time.
Yeah, awesome, yeah. Awesome. I'm surprised you remember that. But fear is an incredible thing, right? We remember those things before we remember some of the good things in our life because it's so intense. That's the scary thing, right? All right, but you have the power, like all of us, all the time, to ask love to be free of it all the time. Okay? All right, so that said, who's next? Do we do that question with you? Is it Jen's turn?
Yes, we actually had Kathy Warmack who had a question last week. She has some medical procedures coming up that she's concerned about. Mm-hmm. She just had x-rays taken on her chest and lungs, and she feels like there's something up. She said the doctor might feel like she's got fluid or something going on. So she's just looking for some insight. She's nervous about everything.
All right, nervousness is what? Fear. So let's ask the universe to clear the fears out of all this, right? All right. Kathy, there's a lot of stuff that you can do and look into with your health that behooves you to do. And I think we've talked about this a few times on and off in the show. I think you've come in and asked a few different things, but throughout, watching our show and being with us, what does come in is alternatives. Look into alternative medicine. Don't just go by what one doctor tells you. Ultimately, I'd like you to get different opinions on all of it. And this is for everybody out there. We live in times where it's toxic. Their beliefs are toxic. There is truth in everything. And so you must be the governor, the advocate for your own health care out here. Okay. You have to be that guy. So, all right. And if you want things to change, then you must make changes that are different. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing as Einstein says, right? Einstein, okay, says the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a change. Doesn't happen that way. Doesn't happen that way. You see? All right. So it's time to do something different, Kathy. Look into different doctors, look into second opinions, go down these avenues. I would also look into alternative medicine. I think we've talked about different supplements and things in the past that behooves you to look into, right? Now, I'm not giving you, as we always say, health or medical advice. You have to go to your doctor for that. I'm talking with higher knowing about the best solutions for you. So take these things and look into these things, all right? And you'll know if you are going in the right direction for you is if things change, right? Things get better. Things change in a positive, healthy way if you're on the right path. If you keep doing the same stuff, then things won't change, or it is greater propensity for it not to change. So just like with everything in our life, if you want change in your life, you must create that change. And this includes your health. So my wisdom tells me the best things for you is to do all these things as well as, all right, look into doing energy work and start working on your ancestral stuff, your ancestral healing for you. Like we do the events on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. To clear those energies that we carry with us in the bottom and the core of our cells, in our structure, Capricorn, Cancer, everything that we are. So it behooves you to look into this stuff. You don't have to do it with me or whatever, but do it with whoever you feel guided to. Okay. So this is one of those things that you can do. And it behooves you to do, because everything is energy. And whether anybody out here realizes or not, as we said many, many times before, energy manifests out here in Earth world. And this is true of physical health symptoms. We remove the energy from everything that is in us and put the best way to be from love, the best solutions, the best way to be from love in the purest form. We change everything. Thanks God for that for us. Always. Thanks, love, for that for us always. So, Kathy, this is the best wisdom guidance for you now. I'm not sure if you're doing any of the other things or have looked into things, because there's lots of medical supplements that I could go off here. You could, and talk to you about. All right. But we'll probably be on the phone for quite a while here on the show. So you could always contact me through personal messenger if you would like to get more personal with it and work with me or have some wisdom and guidance more elaborated on this. But for right now, what's coming in is this for the purpose of the show and what's going to be best for you to look into now. Remember, got to make a change to change everything that happens out here. Okay. Can't do the same stuff. You want to be well, start making different changes, right? Because the stuff that we're doing in the past isn't working. If we keep going through these fear cycles and these unwell cycles in us that create us to be sick, and we can't find the things that we need to be well, then we have to change what we're doing. We have to wrap our heads around a new way, a different way. Again, ask love, ask universe, ask God. All right. So you can create everything that you need. Okay. All right. Talk to you soon. Okay. Much love. All right. Who's next?
We actually have Susie Lynn real quick. She just typed in that her dad was rushed back to the hospital today, and she's asking for prayers.
Okay, you got it, Susie Lynn. So Susie Lynn is asking us for love energy, prayers for her father, and so we're going to send him angels and love, all right, to Susie and her family and her dad, excuse me, to do what is best from love. And thank you, God, for that for us. And thank you, love, for that for us and for Susie Lynn as well. All right, and anybody, please, everybody, send love if you can and angels if you can. Thank you. If you're feeling it, when I say if you can, if you feel it in your heart, you don't force anybody to do something, you ask love. And no problem, Susie Lynn, and much love, and we wish you all the best. Okay? All right. All right, so we got all questions from last week?
The people that are here tonight, yeah.
Do you have a question, Rachel?
No, I don't, but we have past lives, people.
Oh, we have past lives, people. Okay. All right, let me ask, though, for 1 minute. Excuse me. Another runny nose thing. Sophia, do you have any questions tonight that you can think of? Is it from last week or this week or past lives, or what are you feeling?
I was wondering, I think I have a question for this week, if that's okay.
For this week, you mean to start the past life stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, so Sophia's here in our live audience, and she's going to start our past life segment here. What time are we at, Rachel?
7:55.
All right, we're at 7:55, so let's do it. Go ahead.
Okay.
What's your question?
I've always loved the stories of King Arthur and Lancelot and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember you telling me those stories in the past, and I always loved it. And I remember you mentioning in the past, people that we know who played those roles or who were those people in different lifetimes. And I want to know if I was any role in that story or a story like that, if that makes sense.
Right, yeah. Okay, so Sophia loves stories and past lifetimes, growing up with me or living with me, I'm sure is a little bit different than living with most Earth World people, right? So Sophia is asking, because she's heard so many stories, so much past life stuff through the work that I do. And so she's asking about kings and queens and royalty lifetime. She loves that kind of stuff. And it's very romanticized in Cancerian, right? It absolutely is. It's about family. It's about dreams. It's about wealth. It's about beauty. It's about prestige. It's about power. It's about lovely, beautiful things that we all want and aspire to. So it makes sense, that you would want to know about those lifetimes, right? Okay, that said, the answer is many, at this space in our lives, in our evolution as souls, when you get to, higher levels of God or Christ and higher end consciousness, we evolve through so many lifetimes that it's almost virtually impossible to not have those kinds of lifetimes. So the answer to this is yes. We already know that you were all wrapped up in the Romanov lifetime, right? We've talked about that. Okay. So when you were asking me about has she had any of these lifetimes for you? Absolutely. You've had many of them where you've been kings and queens. And when you say a Guinevere Lancelot, because that's the romantic story that everybody loves, and then there was a Richard Gere movie not too long ago, back in the day. Okay. So I feel like there is a part of you that carries a Guineverian energy. Are you aware of that?
I could see definitely the delusional romantic.
Delusional romantic?
Yeah, part of that, maybe.
Okay. Well, yeah. This does lend itself to delusional romance. Absolutely. But those are the things that we want to clear out that don't necessarily serve us. It doesn't mean that we can't have beautiful lives. It's just not in the way that we think. You know, we imagine these scenarios of like wild, crazy stuff going on, you know, for us, you know, romanticizing, you know, the guy who knows or the partner who knows everything that we need. He's so amazing. And he's the king and he gives me tons of gold. And you know what I mean? And I have this beautiful dress and I'm so beautiful. And you know what I mean? And those are lovely things, right? But we can't live in those dimensions. And we have to have a handle in the healthiest, best way on these energies for all of us and for you, right? Yeah. So it does come in that you've had many lifetimes as many different things. There is a lifetime that you had, which is like Ned Stark. Game of Thrones. Anyone know that? Game of Thrones, Ned Stark. And we've been talking a lot about Ned Stark lately in our life, because if anyone who has seen Game of Thrones or knows anything about little segments you might watch on YouTube, Ned Stark has his heads cut off. Yeah, you've had some of those too. We've all had lifetimes with some rough ass shit, really. You know what I'm saying? Rough stuff. So we've all had lifetimes with this. And we'll come back to Ned Stark because he's been coming in a lot in these times. Okay. And this is really a gift from the universe for all of us. And I'm going to talk about that as soon as I finish with Sophia's stuff. So thanks God or love for bringing us back to that space. Okay. So it's interesting because the universe is sharing with me all the times that I see you and you have a golden light around your head. You carry with you a beautiful, graceful princess energy from lifetimes. And what they're telling me is it is a Guineverean energy. Okay. It's just like a powerhouse dynamo of like the girl that everybody wants to be with. That's also why the guy that you're interested in now wants to be with you. Okay. He's like crazy ass about you, through the roof about you. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. I know you refuse to see it, but you know, this is part of our growth and our learning in these spaces, right? But this energy is a beautiful energy. It is charming. It is beautiful. It is charismatic. It is a golden heart, like a golden halo around your head. When I walk down, like when I was driving down the street many times and I would see you walking with your friends and stuff, I see you and you glow. This is the energy that is part of that energy. Huge. You glow. You have a golden, like almost like a halo all around your head and around you. And you are so beautiful and you project that out. And the amazing thing is this is energy in you that projects out on a subconscious level from lifetimes that you have no clue that you even have or that you're shut off to through the stuff that it behooves you to heal in your soul. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So this is what comes in with this Guineverean energy. It's beautiful, though. It's beautiful. You're beautiful. And you will have to make some tough choices in this life because you having so much Cancerian energy, so much Libra energy, a whole chunk of your life, bless you, is going to be about relationships. Do you say? Absolutely. And having a beautiful relationship, a lovely relationship. And one of the reasons for this is because you have had lifetimes of Ned Stark's incredible suffering. Stuff that you have been through that it's like, you know, it's just too heavy to carry, to speak of in your heart energetically. Do you see what I'm saying? And in time, as we do the energy sessions, and this is why energy sessions behoove us if we can do them, whether it's through sound, all different kinds of energy sessions based in love, not in toxic, based in love. These are the things that help us release these energies that are too toxic and hurt so much. Second house Taurus, 8th house Scorpio, right? 5th house Leo, 11th house Aquarius, where we are out of balance in our hearts for ourselves. That's the self-love journey, man. Self-love journey. So this is why this is coming in for you. It's a beautiful energy. So your whole life, because of the Libra Cancerian energy and your agreement with universe and your soul is such that you have come in here to have a super beautiful life and a family and amazing things. But these things cannot happen unless or until you start the healing process of healing you. And it's a journey. Do you see what I'm saying? So you will always be attracting partners, but there will always be challenges within those things if we can't get to the bottom of, or you can't get to the bottom of the unwellness and release that's in your heart for you. Do you see? And that's for all of us. Yeah. Because more often than not, we think, well, I'm a nice person and I'm good to this guy, but we're not good to ourselves. We don't believe in us. We don't love us. And this is what we're talking about, you know? So you do have many lifetimes as this, and it's quite lovely, this gift you have. It's kind of like, it's almost like they're showing me being in a Leo energy, where you're where Leo energy is more of like a ham energy. You know, I'm so amazing, I'm great, I'm Leo, I'm beautiful, I'm charming, I'm charismatic, I'm smart. Look at me, look at me, look at me. This energy that you have carries the most beautiful aspects of this and a whole lot more. Honor, respect, integrity, it's Cancerian, accountability, love, doing the right thing, all right? Something that is hugely lacking in this world, which is also why we do this show, right? Hugely lacking, you see? Okay. Any questions with this?
No, thank you.
No, and let's ask love. Let's ask God, universe, love, to clear this out of us. Right? And put the best way to be. Release this energy emotionally and in all that it is from us. And put the best way to be from love in the purest form. In this reality, any reality, and all that is in our souls, and all we are, be, say, do, and create in the best way for us and all some better. Thank you, love. Thank you, God, for that for us, right? Yeah. Fascinating stuff, right? Yeah. Thanks, God, right? Thanks, love. Okay, so who's next? Jennifer, Rachel, who are we going to now?
We got past lives if you're ready for them.
That was one.
Yeah.
Okay.
More.
All right, what you got?
Andrea.
All right. All right, Dee, what's happening? I'm going to do a little sage here. Get the energy. Release an energy. All right, release an energy. Okay, so Dee, what's going on? Hi, Dee. All right, Rachel, what's going on?
I think she's just interested in the Toward Love Affairs lifetimes. She hasn't said much more than she volunteers.
Yeah. That's pretty much what they all said.
All right,
so Teresa Courtney, like, give it to me raw, she said.
Be careful what you wish for. That's what we always say, right? Be careful what you wish for, right? All right, Dee, this is this can be a really intimate subject matter, but there's nobody judging you here. All right, there's nobody judging you. Just going to sage here and release all these energies.
Oh, I got Dee calling in.
Oh, she's calling in.
Yep.
All right, Dee has decided to call in, guys. All right. Shoot, what you got?
Hey there.
Hey. All right, Dee's calling in with us. You cool with being on TV? Nice me asking now.
I'm cool.
Internet TV with us. Okay, so Dee's here with us. I'm going to put you right here in my thing if I can. Okay, so what's going on, Dee? What do you want to ask?
Sorry, there's a bit of a lag between like the speaker and you talking, so
okay. I didn't know if you called in for a specific reason. I'm not trying to get on you. I'm trying to say, hey, what is it more? Do you need to ask? Did you just want to talk to me? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, you were asking what was going on, and it's just kind of like that. There's like this hardcore stubbornness of like, no, I'm good. I'll just be single.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's just kind of like, all right, there has to be something that seriously just took me out in a past life. And I just said, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
So,
well,
I think it would be behooving of me to remove that.
Okay. Thank you, love, for that for us, right? Put the best way to be in place of this for all of us. But what it comes in is it's not just one thing, it's many. It's many. Yeah. It's like layers. Boom, 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 boom. Layers of lifetimes of incredible suffering, incredible hurting in this arena, right? Okay. So I hope everybody heard Dee here tonight. She's saying that, she feels like she just can't go to this space. Excuse me. She just can't go into this space because it's too painful. Okay. So, and she said, I don't know what happened to me, but I just can't go there, is what she's saying. Right, Dee?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. So there's a couple things that come in. The first thing is, as I said, it's multiple lifetimes, it's multiple layers of all of this that is in your soul. So more often than not, we think it's one thing because we think it's like in Earth world where it has to be this one thing and everything is complex and intricate. Okay. So especially with older souls and souls that are evolved like us, so it's layers and layers and layers, and everything that is God is infinite. So it's layers and layers and layers of this. This said, there is a powerful love affair. And I'm going to tell you this if you're okay with me speaking freely. Are you okay with same-sex relationships and me speaking freely about this?
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Okay. I didn't think you would have a problem, and I really don't feel like anybody else here has any issues with that. But most importantly, what is important is how you feel, because when we talk about intimate stuff like this, it's a big deal. Not everybody wants people to know who we are, and understandably so. So if you want me to stop here now and move on to another question, or you're okay with me speaking freely about this past life, I shall. What would you like?
I mean, I'm down for it. It's
Okay.
best learning for all, really.
All right, you're doing the Teresa Courtney Lloyd and the Nikki Hopper, right? You're like, go for it, right? Okay. All right, so here's what comes in. You, like our associate who had or a friend of ours who comes to our classes, right? One of our people, you're one of our people, who had the past life with the rats, a variation of the same thing. There is, as well as I do, you have had many, many, many infinite lifetimes on ships. You love ships. Your dream in this lifetime is to get back on a ship, right?
Oh, yeah.
But to be the captain, have your own ship and do your own thing in that space and love your life kind of thing, is it not?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yes, you love the ocean. We know this about you. We know this. All right.
It's kind of obvious.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everything you talk about. I mean, Christmas ornaments with ships and all that stuff like that. Shells, ships, ocean, all of it, right? So these are good things that we know about you. That said, what comes in is there's one lifetime that really behooves us to clear right now that universe is bringing me to, and it's a big deal. Big deal. Okay. Because it's a love affair. A lot of people may have seen Brokeback Mountain. It's one of my daughter's favorite movies because it's a love affair. It's a beautiful love relationship, right? And my one daughter is like, just loves that movie because of that. Doesn't matter what sex you are. That doesn't, what all that stuff, the LGBTQ stuff, none of that matters. What matters is these are two people who are in love. Do you see? And you, what?
Oh, yeah, I was agreeing.
Yeah, and you had a relationship like this that was torrid, but it was beautiful, it was intense, and it comes as you were a big guy and he was a big guy. Not unlike your dad, just big in stature and big in height. Do you see? And the fact that your dad was like that is another connection in this reality to this life for you. Do you see what I'm saying? Universe is always giving us all these signs about what's the truth is about what's going on in us metaphysically, so we can heal ourselves, change ourselves, create our best lives. Okay, so this too is part of that. Why your dad is a big guy. Now, that said, this was a really, really intense love affair relationship, and this is about two seamen. When I get in that space, it's a beautiful relationship. It's not unlike the Brokeback Mountain stuff, okay? And because I see you, but I see you on the back. I see you in from behind, meaning you're standing there, you're on a ship. I can see you guys looking over. You're working on the ship. You're doing everything on the ship. You're doing your thing. And I feel like this is not uncommon for you that you've had many same-sex relationships throughout your life, because in general, what happens when you spend a lot of time with people and you're alone with them, there are a lot of times we fall in love with those people. all. And so, but this is all part of the stuff that your soul has called in, right, from the past, and that has created and taught you about how to love and love differently and in all these different unique ways, because it's male and female, is the main core of the belief system in this reality, doesn't mean that there isn't all so much to learn from the best space of love always, in us, in our hearts, and in all that is God or love. Do you see? So this is one of those journeys where you really, really had an intimate, fantastic relationship from love. And this comes in as you having this. And when I get in that space, it doesn't feel like there was really anything torrid. It really comes in as being... The most torrid part of it was letting go of each other, like when it ended. Do you see what I'm saying? And that, more often than not, is what happens. Our hearts hurt so bad because we lose the partner we love. And I feel like, because they keep showing me this over and over, and I'm keep trying to slide by it, but universe is like, no. And I'm like, okay, right? So what they're showing me, and I don't even like to go to this space, is they're showing me there's a big storm. This is why I'm looking at it from behind. I'm seeing what's happening. A big, big, big storm. And he goes over the edge. And he's gone. Because you know how it is. They lose sailors, God forbid, they lose sailors at sea all the time. Those big ships, he's gone. You can't find him. He's gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not unlike a squall.
Yeah.
A squall is like a sunstorm that is extremely violent, that just comes up and just, there's no time to get lifelines on. You just have to that's where the term hitting the deck comes from.
Yeah, that's funny, and that I believe. There's all these old world sayings and things. Absolutely, and that's funny you said a squall, because that's what I was getting. A squall came in out of nowhere, because that's the nature of the ocean. That's the nature of all that is love, right? Yeah. So that was devastating. And there's and so much of this energy is there's nothing you can really do to save him. Do you see what I'm saying? Nothing. Gone. It's like they disappear in midair. You can't jump in the water. That ain't going to help you. You know what I'm saying? You can't throw him a rope or a line. And even though in our crazy actions out of love, we do stuff like that all the time. And I know that you did that. You did everything that you could, but there was nothing because he's gone. Do you see? Yeah. So this is a very traumatic thing, because this man was the love of your life. All right. So, and we have many loves of our lives. When people say, oh my God, it's my twin flame partner in this reality, and they're like, he or she is the love of my life. I'm like, stop. They can be, but more often than not, they are not. Do you see? Because the soul is infinite, and we will have many, 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 many lifetimes, many, 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 many lovers, depending on how many we call in. It is never the end all be all. And that's what the twin flame, soulmate, twin flame relationship stuff is about. Being able to release attachments to these people, to the people that we love, right? And also the ideas of what we think should be. Do you see? So, and those are the things that we carry with us for lifetimes, because we get hurt in those moments and we're crushed in those moments, and we carry that energy in our hearts, and then our hearts hurt, and it manifests somewhere down the road in the next life and the next thing. And it can also, this kind of energy can also confuse us in our sexuality in this lifetime. Do you know what I mean? We can say, well, I think I'm attracted to men because I just feel such incredible love towards them. But then we decide that we're attracted to women. Do you see what I'm saying? So these things can lend themselves to confusion in the energy. Do you see? But this all said, these are things for more intimate conversations on a personal level, like when we would talk, if we would do an appointment. You know what I mean? If and so you would feel that way. Do you see what I'm saying? Or have anything related to that you want to discuss, or your relationships, or your sexuality, or anything like that, But this is for all of us. We all have these relationships of positive and healthy and multi-different relationships, where we're same-sex relationships, any and everything, you name it, we've been it, we've done it, especially at this level of God. Now, not, or love, that we are in our souls, and this vibration of love with all the magic and gifts. So does all this make sense to you?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, fascinating stuff, isn't it? It's just incredible. Okay, so this said, I'm going to ask the universe to clear and release all of this for all of us from love, okay? And put the best way to be from love in the purest form in this reality, any reality, and all that is in our souls, and all we are, be, say, do, and create in the best way for us and all or something better. Thanks, God, for that for us, right?
Thanks God for that for us.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, Dee. So we'll see. We'll talk to you soon, like this weekend or something. All right. See you later, girl. Thanks, Rachel. All right. All right. So, what do we got next?
Another torrid love affair life. How about Teresa Courtney Lloyd?
All right, Teresa. You ready for this? What is that song? Dun 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 dun.
Right.
Ready for this? All right. I admitted before that I can't sing. Like,
No, you did good. You did good.
For the radio. All right. So let's see. Teresa Courtney Lloyd, you have Virgo energy, and there are two things that come in. Interesting enough, is with the Virgo energy is perfectionist and healer. Okay. So what's the God's honest truth for Teresa Courtney Lloyd? She wants to know about one of her past life torrid relationships. Correct?
Yes.
All right, Teresa. This is heavy. All right, let's see. What's the God's honest truth here? All right. And there's a reason I said that you came in as a Virgo, you came in as a healer. Virgos are your master healers. They are your perfectionists. Okay, it doesn't mean that other signs are not master healers as well. It means there are multiple things that make up people who are healers at the highest levels of God or love. Okay, this said, you have a lifetime that comes in that brings me back to your granddaughter. All right, and I feel she played a prominent role in this lifetime for you now. This is about you being a healer, a doctor, and really super gifted among the community. This comes in as being in the 1830s and the 1800s. And it's with your I think it's your granddaughter, Callie. That's part of the reason you have this relationship with her that's so unique and different and magical. All right. That's also, if I'm not mistaken, is she an Aries energy? Because she came in this life to do all the things that she couldn't do in that lifetime. And you're kind of like a guardian angel for her in this lifetime. And this is all related to this lifetime that they're showing me right now. You were a healer, you were a doctor, you were prominent in the community, and it was known that you, Teresa, pretty cool shit, could save anybody. And, so that's the rumor, the energy that's going around, and you were great. You were fantastic, a fantastic healer, fantastic at what you did. But this ended up happening as such in this lifetime that Callie, I'm just looking at this, as she was related to you then. I don't feel like she was related to you then. I feel like she came in through another family that you were going to as the doctor that was called in at the time. So she was a child. She comes in as 9, 10, 11. She's sick. Very, very sick. I want to say it starts as scarlet fever. It turns into like a pneumonia. Okay. And you did everything under the sun that the greatest doctors of the time, healers, everything could have ever done. And this is all part of your magic. This is why you're a Virgo today too, as you're a perfectionist, you're a healer, and it's almost like you can't put it down. Okay. And this is about healing in this life through the physical reality of being with your daughter and your granddaughter, and these pacts made, agreements, karmic agreements from this lifetime that you guys agreed to, this lifetime that is this past lifetime that you guys agreed to in this lifetime. Okay, you guys agreed to this, meaning that in this lifetime you were going to be a guardian angel. They keep showing me wings on your back for her. You watch out for her. And in this lifetime, she came in to live, to dream, and you're here as a karmic pact agreement, a soul agreement, karmically, to guide her and be with her and help her and assist her, and to make sure that she gets through this life healthy, happy, and full of life, and really truly gets to live because of this deficit that you so connected to this child. And who doesn't connect to children? And who doesn't connect to children that are sick, whether they're ours or not? When we're healers, we love, and we love like MFers, we do. We love so hard. And when it's children, we all go, ugh, like we're going to vomit, However, it comes in, I see you with like really pure white angel wings, and this is like a beautiful agreement that you have. And I see her on a bed, and no matter what you do, you can't save this child. And so while she wasn't in your family, you, connected to her heart so strongly, right? And she has been around you in other lifetimes. As you know, we are all in multiple lifetimes together, usually doing different or being different energies for our learning, for our growth, for our healing, for our experiences, for everything. So we have different karmic agreements. So you have been with her in lifetimes before as well. But this is a huge karmic agreement from past lifetimes with your healing abilities and working through this. It literally in Earth World is part of the healing here for you with your gifts and with your relationship, with her, with your daughter, because it was hugely devastating for you, because ultimately she passed away and there was nothing you could do to save her. But the truth is, there was nothing anybody could have done to save her. Nothing. So, but you took it so heavy on your heart because you love so hard. You love so hard, as most people do, especially when you get to the highest levels of God or love. We're like what I call, like my associate. You okay if I share your name?
Yeah.
My associate is Rachel Sapp. Right? And what I can tell you is it took me a long time to get this. I would be like, Rachel, you're a sap, you're a sap, you're a sap. And then I was like, one day I woke up and I'm like, fuck, I'm a sap. I'm like, right? Because we love so hard and so heavy, right? And so, but it's such a detriment, and people don't think of this, having such a big heart can be a detriment to us in our health and in our journeys and our lifetimes, depending on how this energy manifests, to either destroying ourselves internally in our own heart spaces where we don't feel good enough and we self-loathe. And this energy can manifest in multitudes of ways. It's rough stuff. But, this is all part of that journey and all part of the karmic agreements that you have agreed upon. And you could say, well, how come we didn't get this in the past? A lot of people will say everything in God's time. So when I say, when I ask universe, ask God, ask love for anything, that's God's time. In that moment, I ask for what is the best lifetime for you, for whoever. What is the best one for your greatest healing, and that has to do with torrid love affairs in this lifetime? Well, that's it. You love this kid so hard and so heavy, and this is how it's torrid. It tore you up. You're still healing that in this lifetime. Yeah, crazy stuff. And we all got SHIT. We all got it, right? Yeah, and stuff meaning that we carry that's so heavy on our hearts. So this is why this comes in, and why it doesn't, let's say, come in a past lifetime class. We have tailored it, right? Like they say, what is it they say about something is in the details? Is it the demons are in the details or something?
I thought it was the devil.
The devil, yeah, the devil's in the details, right? Where you can really see how things come together. When we ask universe for things, like, right, the more we tailor these things to everything that we need, then we come together and we get these answers in more complex and more details and understand them better, right? Just like when we ask universe, to give you an example of this, when I ask God or love to have a great day, thanks love for the best day, thanks for me having the greatest day, right? And then I feel like I come home and I feel like I didn't have a good day because maybe I lost my wallet and maybe I had $500 in there, and then the store calls me and they give me my wallet and there's no money in it, and all my IDs are gone and all my credit cards are gone, and then I go home and I say, well, God, I asked to have the best day and I didn't have it because this happened to me. Well, maybe I had the best day. The weather was great. I felt good about myself and all these other great things happened. But I didn't ask universe specifically for what I wanted to have in my great day. Maybe I didn't ask that my day was abundant, that I was free of unwellness or free of having any issues that were toxic. Do you see? So, and you can create your life, but when you don't, address it in the details, right? This is the kind of stuff that happens, because I can still say, well, Teresa, you had a good day, or this person who lost their wallet and all this stuff happens to, let's say, me or whoever it is, right? It all depends on exactly what I'm asking love or universe or God for. What is it, love? What is it that I need? I must be specific. The more specific I am, the better I am. The same thing goes to in other words, the better I am, meaning in everything that happens for me. Do you see? From love, and always from love, in the best way for me and all, or something better. Same thing. I can ask universe for a new car, and it may be that I order a new car and it's a piece of crap from the junkyard. Well, it's a new car to me. You see? The more specific I am, the better it's going to manifest in my life. All right. And so this is why, and this is great wisdom for all of us to understand how these things really work with the law of the universe, the law of love energy. Okay. So I'm going to ask universe for the best healing changes, blessings, releases with all of this for you as well, Teresa, right now, you and Callie, and all who so desire it. All of these lovely prayers that we're doing right now from love. Thank you, universe, God, love, for all of this for us now, please, from love in the purest form, in this reality, any reality, and all that is. And thank you, God, for that for us. The best releases and the best way to be in place of this from love, in the purest form, in our souls, and in all we are, be, say, do, and create, and all that it is, and the best way for us to know something better. Thank you, God, for that for us. Okay. All right. What time we at, Ray?
So, 8:30.
Pretty fascinating, huh, Teresa? Wicked cool shit. Yeah.
She says thank you.
Yeah, super welcome. All right, so it's 8:30?
Yep.
All right. Was there something else I was going to talk about tonight that you guys remember? I feel like there was. All right, so how many more questions do we have in reference to this past life stuff? It's cool past life stuff.
Three more people rather.
Okay.
That are interested in past life, and then
Terrific.
there's some other questions too.
Okay. All right, so let's wrap it up with those last three, okay? So those who want to do some past life questions, speak now or forever hold your peace, and then we're going to answer any of the other questions that we can help everybody out with tonight, okay? All right, so let's go. Let's go. What you got? Nicholas. Ah, Nicholas? Mm-hmm. All right, Nikki and Nicholas. Some wild shit, right? Cool stuff. All right, hey, Nicholas. Thanks for coming. Go ahead.
Just, he volunteered for the past life toward love affair.
Okay, so he didn't say anything. Nothing connects
nothing
for him. Ooh. All right, universe, God, love. What's the God's honest truth for Nicholas? What's going on here in his soul? From love, in the purest form, in this reality, any reality, and all that is. Thank you, God, for that for us. All right, Nicholas, the two of the big things that come in is your mom and you, okay? Heavy stuff. All right, I feel that you had a pretty torrid relationship with your mom in this reality, torrid love affairs relationships. Your mom is coming in as refusing to accept the relationship that you have now. In some way, shape, or form, honor you, respect you. And this has hugely to do with her relationship with you from past lifetimes and what she believes you should be doing and not be doing. And it's not about her, it is about you. And that's the sucky part, or the difficult part, is we can't make people support us or love us or validate us or be there for us, right? Because of their own stuff. So it is us who has to be there for us. Because she comes in really super powerful. in terms of this lifetime, you have broken free from her. But this comes in as the very way that you manifested your physical reality, and the situation with her is all about control, having women control you. All right. It's not unlike Dee's lifetime, lifetimes of control, the controlling mother. All right. So this is coming in really hardcore. So the way that you manifested yourself in this lifetime is all about this, and your physical ways have allowed your mom in some way to dictate, everything to some degree, not just everything, but so many things in your life, which is one of the reasons you have broken off totally and gone to a whole entire new country on a soul level and started a whole entire new life, because this is part of the karmic agreements that you have in this life to release that, to cut those ties, literally, in Earth world. Okay, so this comes from lifetimes of your mother being your mother, both a controlling wife, a controlling mother. This creates so many of the issues and the emotional stuff that you shut down on when you do shut down inside of you in this reality with your relationship now or any other relationships you have, especially with women. Okay, FYI. Okay, so this is coming in through layers of controlling lifetimes. It's not unlike, not that it's a mommy dearest type life. It doesn't feel like that, but it's just maddening control, not being able to be free, not being able to be who you are, whether you're a husband, a wife, a child, a girl, a boy, a relative. This is about multiple lifetimes here, Nicholas, that are torrid love affairs where your mother loved you so much and it was her way or the highway. And this is how it's going to be. And this is, I love you, loving control, which is really, really super unwell, torrid love affair control kind of thing. So now in this lifetime, you've taken these energies, and this is part of your karmic agreements. You've broken free from this, right? In the life that you are now living. Okay. But with this comes in massive layers of healing so that we can speak for ourselves. We can tell people how we truly feel. We don't let our partners, our friends, and other women or people dominate us in any way, shape, or form, or control us in any way. We don't shut down. We open up and we change all of these things as we work on them to change. And so this is a big deal. It's a big deal. So we're going to start this healing process now. We're going to ask the universe just to release all of this energy that is all of this from all of these lifetimes for you and set you free. Set us all free from these kinds of relationships because they're totally unhealthy. Controlling love, right? That's like weird, fantasy romance kind of things. Oh, he won't let me go out. And then when that really happens in your life, you're really not into it. I don't care who you are. You're like, oh, I dream that he's going to be the boss of me and he's going to take care of me and I'm going to do whatever he says. And then you're like, then when it really happens in Earth world, you're like, yeah, no, right? I know, but these are our delusions, and this is the energy, how this stuff a lot of times manifests, and we want to release this. And some of us want to control other people too. You know what I mean? Oh, he's mine now, and he's going to do what I want him to do. He's going to do what I tell him to do. Meanwhile, he's at the bar and you're home alone, doing whatever the hell he wants to do. You know what I'm saying? Because those are the things that manifest in the way this energy manifests out here in Earth world. And nobody has any idea what happened in past lives, because that's why we're here, all of us, is to change the world and teach them the God's honest truth about how these things in energy manifests in multiple different ways for all of us, right? Our own personal stuff. So let's ask the universe to be free of all this. Release us from it now. Please put the best way to be from love in the purest form. Again, in this reality, any reality, and all that is. And thank you, God. Thank you, love, for this for us in our souls and in all we are, be, say, do, and create, and all that it is in the best way for us and all something better. Thanks, God, for that for us. Thanks, love, for that for us, right? Okay. So, Nicholas, that was big stuff. Good for you, man. Good for you.
He says thank you.
Super welcome. Super welcome. All right. Rachel, Jen, do you guys have anything?
Sarah Andrews is next. She would like a past life, if you don't mind.
All right. Whoa, Sarah Andrews. Grandma's coming in. Grandma. All right. You ready for this? Let's see what we got. God's honest truth toward love affairs for Sarah Andrews. Best healing, best gifts, best tools, best wisdom from love. Thank you, God, universe, love, for this for us now, please. Okay, let's see what we got. Interesting enough, where we talked about it not being a mommy dearest relationship in Nicholas's, where it's still a control kind of thing. This one was actually with your grandmother, with this grandmother that we're talking about, or this grandmother energy. A total mommy dearest stuff. So it's more often than not, it's not exactly in the way we think, and it's in layers of these lifetimes. There is a lifetime that you have had, which is extremely toxic and abusive and, seriously unwell with your grandmother. And, it's like a mommy dearest kind of relationship is what it comes in. And we've talked about this kind of stuff a little bit, I feel like, so this is what's coming in, and this is all part of that healing that we've talked about and that behooves us to do so that you can move forward and heal this. Once these energies are healed, it doesn't happen anymore. Just like there are certain things in my life, right, that I just noticed the other day. To give you an example, my sister Jen here, something went down with something that happened with us, and normally in the past I would lose my shit because she would do these things that were just poor decisions. She would say fuck it, or I don't care about this, or this doesn't matter, and it would be really important things like if we don't take care of this, somebody's going to call the police, and this is nothing to fuck around with. And she'd be like, you deal with it, Lynn, or fuck this, or I'm going to bed because I'm too tired to deal with this. And I'm like, you can't do that, Jennifer. You can't do that, right?
You had it under control.
Right. But what's crazy, so then I would lose my shit with her. I'm like, and because she sets the example for my children too. She's like a second mom, right? So now she's teaching them that it's okay when something happens that goes down.
Yes.
That's really toxic, like the neighbor's house is on fire, right? It's okay for you to go to bed and not worry about it. This is the kind of shit. And I'm like, yeah, that's not okay, right? And here she is teaching my kids this. I'm like, that is not okay. Right? That is not okay. So
I'm going to need a session.
Yeah, so she's going to need to work with me after this metaphysically, right? So what's crazy is, where are we going with this, God, is the next step, right? So with this energy, there's with Jennifer and this, I lost my shit, right? I mean, in the past, over and over, I would lose my temper, go wild, rag on her for a good 20 minutes at least. And then I'd start up again the second she opened her mouth, right? Anything Jennifer said, did, moved around me, and then I lose my shit, right? And this would go on. This has gone on for years, right? And I've been working on it and working on it and working on it. And then finally, the other night we had one of these emergency situations. And I took care of it, and I went upstairs and I didn't say anything. And I was like, and Jennifer was like, didn't say anything. And I feel like she was kind of hiding from me, right? But we didn't say anything because it was so incredible. Because normally I would have come up the stairs screaming and yelling, been like, rah, 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 all over her shit for making poor decisions and around my children and what the hell is wrong with you and all this crap. But I didn't do any of that. Right? And this is how you know, and this is for everybody here, not just you, Sarah Andrews, this is how you know this stuff is healed, right? So I have worked on a huge chunk of my Aryan temper, or my Aries energy in me that's toxic, where I get angry and pissed off and then rage on somebody, right? Like my sister in our personal relationships with this stuff. And I handled everything completely different. Hey, we can't do that kind of stuff. And I didn't rage at her at all. But what was amazing is I went like this. I was like, oh. And I said to her, I'm totally different in this space. And she noticed it then, and I noticed it, and everybody else noticed it. So the reason I'm telling you this is as you heal this with your grandma's energy, all right, with this grandmother energy from lifetimes, this is some really tough, dark stuff, and it's toxic, okay? We're going to start this healing process with this. All right, for this tonight. But also, when this heals, you will know it. You will know it because your grandmother won't bother you. Just like the stuff my sister did. Normally I'd be raging at her, yelling at her, you have to get out of here, you have to do this, da-da-da-da-da, right? But I didn't do any of that. I just went downstairs, took care of it myself, and we were done. Do you see? We were done what I had to take care of, right? And I didn't rag on her. I didn't lose my shit. I didn't do any of that because it was healed in my soul. So this is an awesome breakthrough for me with my energy and all of this having to do with this, not just with my sister, but anybody else who tweaks me as well. So this is work and releases in my soul, but this also sets me free with my sister to be able to talk to her about these things instead of rage. Then she doesn't shut down and then not talk to me for days, the family patterns, exciting stuff. So I change this by working on me. I change everything out here, including my relationship with my sister, right? Yeah. And then my kids learn from it and they see me grow too. Yeah. So this is what I'm saying. The reason I'm telling you this is because this is what is going to happen and will happen with your grandmother, and you're working on this energy. All right. You're working on healing this in you, and all the things that I told you in the past, then you'll be able to do as this heals, because you won't have those same feelings. This too shall pass. It's incredible stuff, right? You just wake up one day and you realize, oh my God, I'm different. I handled this different. I didn't yell. I didn't scream. I didn't get abusive with my sister or whoever, right? Yeah. And, or I feel good about this, and I actually love my grandmother, and I'm ready to write the stories with her. Do you see? So there's a lot of stuff that will come out in time. I feel like through the Reiki work that you're doing and through any other energy work that you do with other people, as well as this is a huge catalyst in removing this big chunk of this, because this is one of the most massive issues of this or heaviness in you, in your heart, this particular lifetime. And I feel like it's like 2, 3, 4. In other words, there were 2, 3, 4 lifetimes total that have to do with this, that you live like this with her in this kind of energy. And when I say 2, 3, 4, okay, so you had a total of 4, all right? Some were not completed in their entirety, and this is why this goes down 2, then 3, then 4. After the 4th life, it was completed that you did this work with her, and now it's time to do it in a different way and change that. So they weren't necessarily complete full lifetimes of like suffering and suffering and suffering. Like I feel like some of them, you passed away when you were like 4. Another one, you were like 7 and 8. Okay, so each one of them, you didn't live a full lifetime. So these are partial lifetimes, so to speak. All right, and this is another complex understanding about lifetimes for different days and into the future for all of us here. But this is to let you know that this has happened a few times, but this is all the big chunk of all of this that we're releasing today. So you will, and just like everybody on here, when we do this work, if you have any challenges, PM me, anything you need help with, okay, because this is heavy emotional stuff that we're doing. So you may have dreams, you may have nightmares, you may have sleep paralysis, and when you go in those spaces, ask love to change this for you. Ask love to heal this in you. Ask love to handle this and be free of it, okay? Whatever challenges you're having. So some days you'll cry, some days you'll have a hard time, but you can always, always, always PM me, because I will help you with this. This is what we do. This is all part of what we do, right? Because we can't be releasing this stuff from you guys and telling you about this without having the tools to help you work through it. Okay. So there may be some days where you're sad or you're depressed, or, sometimes, it can be pretty rough. Sometimes I've had clients who, not to scare anybody, but, have gotten pretty rough in their emotional mental spaces. Okay. So when that happens, that's why we're here to help you. Okay. And you can also help yourself by working with love, working with universe, releasing these energies, because these are very traumatic things. That's why I say do a lot of energy work. Energy work will also release all the facets of all these lifetimes in you as well. And this energy, okay, it will release all this energy work. Is a great way, but you'll still be feeling it and having, sometimes you'll have strange visions, but the soul ultimately protects itself. It's guided by love. So you ask universe to have the best outcome with the releases and the healing of all of this. Thanks, love. Thanks, God, for that for us, for all of us on the show tonight, and always from love. Thank you, God, for that for us. Okay, so Sarah Andrews, I'm going to ask universe to release this now for you. All energy that is all of this and for all of us from love, and put the best way to be from love in the purest form now, please. Thank you for these gifts in our souls and in your soul and all we are, be, say, do, and create and all that it is in the best way for us and all of something better. And thank you, God. Thank you, love, for this for us. Okay, so there you go, girl. You're good to go. All right, if you need us, holler. And this is for everybody here. You need us, let us know. Personal message. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Okay? All right. Go ahead. Who's next? Nikki Opper. And then how many more we got? What time?
She's the last past life question. Then we have a few more questions. We'll probably have to do next week.
All right. Okay, guys, we are going to probably run out of time because we end at quarter of, and without dragging you on longer, not that it isn't fun, it's great. We have one more past life for Nikki Opper, and then we're going to bring this week's, so the questions from this week will start next week for our psychic Q&A and just general information and things to help you guys with. All right? Okay, so this said, tell me about Nikki Opper. What's going on?
She hasn't said anything besides what everybody else says, where they just volunteer.
Okay, so she's volunteering. All right. What do we got for Nikki Opper? Universe, love, God. Oh, Nikki. Oh, this is really funny. This is kind of refreshing for our last one, too. I like this. This is kind of fun. You and your Leo energy. You know about you and Leo? I know about Leo and Leo. Nikki Opper. All right, God, what's the God's honest truth here? It's wild because like you, Nikki, and like me, like you, right? I have a lifetime. This is so bizarre. This is so bizarre, right? I remember my ex and me being lions, actual real physical lions, like in the night, in this beautiful midnight starry night, right? There's all this midnight sky, and at the risk of you guys thinking I'm crazy nuts, it's a beautiful night, and all the stars are in the sky, and I'm a female lion, and he's a male lion, and we're having sex. And it was the most incredible sex, right? In this dream that I had, right? But this is a past life, right? A past life, right? We were animals. It was so bizarre, but I knew it was him. It's actually one of the fathers to my children in this lifetime. And I'm like, oh, this is rough. I'm like, because it's so strange, right? We think of it as being so strange, but really I was a lion. I was in the experience of being a lion, and it was such an incredible space to be in that lion space. It's not about necessarily the sex. It is about being a lion, the beautiful stars in the sky, experiencing all that is nature in that space of God or love that's a lion. How incredible that is, right? I'm telling you guys this because this dream was wild. And, I woke up in the morning and I was like, my head was spinning because I'm like, yeah, this is kind of like disturbing. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm putting my ex as the male lion and I'm like, okay, I got to wrap my head around this with God, universe, love. But this really was a past life. Okay. I've been a lion many lifetimes and now I'm Christ lion, right? I can be, I'm a Leo lion as well in my subconscious chart. I have Leo, a lot of powerful Leo energy in me. All right. I have a subconscious Leo moon, but the reason we're talking about all of this, Nikki, is because this relates to you, right? You have, and this is kind of fun, a past life where you are a big ass male lion, a big boy, fierce. Right? But just like you are today, you're a big marshmallow, right? You're absolutely endearing. And, it's like, how it is. The women wear the pants, right? So, in the lion community as well, they call the shots, right? Even though I'm a lion and they're like, oh, the lion is the king and he's the king of the pride. The girls have to accept him, right? The ladies have to accept him, right? So the women have all the power. Really, okay, in this particular environment, let's say. So you, this big male lion, and you're absolutely gigantic, and you're absolutely beautiful, and you're absolutely huge, right? But this is some of the energy, this is really funny, that, you wouldn't think of could be harmful that you bring to the table that gets in your way. Do you see? Yeah. I am this and I'm that and I'm this and I'm that. And then it's like a superficial lion energy as opposed to a really heavy substance energy in the core of you. But this is also why you're a lion, this part of your journey, a Leo in this lifetime. And this is the energy that you've carried over from that lifetime. And this is why I say this stuff is pretty heavy, right? Because nobody wants to say, well, you're kind of superficial and you don't follow through. But again, that's Gemini energy. Sometimes that's Aries energy. These energies are also known for not following through, being superficial, not really getting to the bottom of the God's honest truth of everything, like Scorpio, let's say, but that's what Scorpio is known for. Okay. So in this lifetime, a big chunk of the reason that you are a Leo energy is so that you can develop these things in you and be more in depth, more powerful. And this is why you've gone so hard in that spiritual Christ energy or love energy journey of the Leo, of the heart, of the soul. And on this spiritual journey, this has led you to this space, because now you are not going to be shallow. You're not going to be lazy. You're not going to be bask in how great you are, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be completely different, and it already is. And you can see these changes in you in this lifetime. Incredible, amazing, right? Just incredible stuff. So this is all part of that journey. We're going to ask the universe to release all these things in you that do not behoove you, that are these energies, and in all of us. Thanks, love, for that for us, and put the best way to be from love in place of this, in the purest form of love in our souls, and in all we are, be, say, do, and create, and all that it is, in the best way for us, and all of something better. And thank you, God, for that, for us.
Thank you.
Right? So this is a way this Christ lion energy comes through in you. This is why you're this soul. You always have it in you, and you're not going to be shallow and superficial anymore. You're not going to be those qualities in you. You are going to bring it to highest end levels of love and in depth, Scorpio. Getting to the bottom, having core character, core in your character, and meaning substance, so much more in your relationships and in everything that you are. Nothing superficial, nothing. So this is a great life for you with this. It's really fascinating, but you'll still have all those Leo qualities, but they will be in their healthiest, best spaces and balance from love. Thanks, God. Thanks, love, for that for us, right? Yeah. Okay. So what time are we at now, Rachel?
8:53.
Oh, see, we went over. What else is there, right? Okay, I just want to say thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. If you can donate in whatever way, share what we do. You know what our shopping center does. We help people in multiple different ways. All right, we're a full-service healing center. Work with love. We help people metaphysically and in all ways, right? So just letting you know, if you can donate, please do. And thank you guys so much. We'll see you next Wednesday at 7:15. And who knows what will happen next Wednesday with the interesting topics we're doing these days. All right. Much love. You guys have a great night.